Parents of the kidnapped students from the College of Forestry Mechanization in Kaduna, Nigeria, are saying that the government has abandoned them. In a press conference held in the school premises, they said they will not be intimidated by threats from officials. Our correspondent Amaka Okoye was there.
It's been 25 days since 39 students were abducted from this school in Kaduna. There's still been no word on their whereabouts or their well-being. Now, parents who have been warned not to speak to the media say they are left with no option but to open up.
Today marked its 25th diary and excruciatingly difficult days since our children have been in captivity. We have not received any words of empathy or assurance from government, nor have we seen any action to inspire confidence that something is being done to secure the safe release of our children.
The Kaduna state government says it will prosecute anyone found negotiating with bandits. But all these worried parents want is their children back.
We didn't hear any word. That is why we as parents are worried. We can't sleep. Since this kidnap happened, I have not been myself. See, when this thing happened, I fell. Look at my leg. I got injured. See, since then till today, I have been unwell. I have been having fever. I only got a bit of relief today. Look at my lips. It is all blisters. I can't eat food. I just take a bit of water. This is so hurtful. I'm hurting. And I said, I wish I knew. I wish I knew.
No one could eat and sleep as normal anymore for these 25 days. It has been all that bad that even the ones that seniored him, like I said, is the last one of the house. Their business in every crumbled.
This student says it's hard to imagine that his friends are still in captivity and nobody is helping them.
I know I don't stay in the hostel, but sometimes if I have excess work, I stay in the hostel. These are the people that host me in to find out that they are not around anymore. And it is so disheartening that nothing has been done. I have not seen any tangible result from them. So that is why the team is too worrisome and so unfortunate.
The coalition of the northern groups is siding with the families in their calls for government action.
The coalition of northern groups is with them in this trying time, and we are planning a massive protest. We are going to occupy Kaduna in the next 3 days if these children are not rescued.
The parents are determined that if no action is taken in the coming days, they will take to the streets in protest. Amaka Okoye, Arise News.
Well, very sad report there from Amaka Okoye, illustrating the agony, the anxiety, the frustration of the parents of those 39 students that were, kidnapped in the Kaduna state, Afara, the Afara crisis. As we saw in that tape, the parents, have every reason to be anxious. It's been more than 35 days, almost a month. The other day we were saying, 2 weeks, no information yet, but almost a month now. The only latest information that we have from Samuel Arunwan, the Commissioner for Internal Security and Home Affairs in Kaduna State, is that yesterday, about 5 of those 39 kidnapped students had been, I'm using his word, recovered. So, and I was curious about the phrase recovered. Is it a case of lost and found, or is it that they were rescued by the military? And at the moment, we're told that those 5 students who were rescued, they are receiving treatment. They are undergoing medical checkup at a medical facility. Now, that again will have raised hopes and expectations of these affected parents who have been saying that, look, the kidnappers are asking for 500 million, and that as far as they are concerned, the state government should just pay that ransom and allow everybody to be released. Because the longer they stay in captivity, the more uncertain, the circumstances could be. But the state government continues to insist that the state government in Kaduna will not pay any ransom, will not negotiate, and whoever attempts to negotiate with the bandits, the terrorists in Kaduna State, that such a person will be prosecuted accordingly. And, that has added to the frustration of the parents. Would the state government shift? Would the security agencies do their work and rescue, not just recover? Because that recovery, as put out there by the Commissioner for Internal Security, looks like a delicate choice of word, in my view. But some interesting development. 5 of them have been are now out, and they are with the military. But we just hope that every effort will be made to make sure that the agony of these parents, does not get prolonged any further, and that the security agencies will be able to rescue the remaining kidnapped students.
Well, I think the word recover is deliberately ambiguous. Definitely. But we hope that more information comes to light. As for the government, Kaduna State's government hardline, I think most people approve of that hardline, because if that line had been taken before, this would not have happened to the Afara people who have been held hostage for 25 days. If at some point somebody put their foot down and stopped pandering to criminals, this would not have happened to them. However, you never want the hardline to come down when it's your turn or your child. And my heart goes out to the parents. 25 days might as well be a lifetime. It's devastating what's happening. And the fact that the Kaduna State government is going another step further to say whoever negotiates with them will be prosecuted for doing that. So that closes the door. We were talking about how Sheikh Husani and Sheikh Gumi were reportedly considering negotiating, but obviously that can't happen now.
I mean, there's a saying that says it's easier to bear the pain of others. It's so easy because we are not there. It's not us feeling the pain. We are not that mother that said she's not been able to eat since then, that she fell. So it's very easy for us to sit here and bear the pain of others. I just want to, try to feel what they're feeling at this point in time, because it's not an easy thing to feel. Their children have not been back home. A lady was supposed to get married. Her wedding has been postponed. That's even if she comes back alive. In the first place, we pray she does. Hopes and aspiration dash. People can't write their examinations. So whatever we say here will never be like feeling the pains those people are going through. And please, the Kaduna State government should understand that these people are going through pain. I saw the commissioner yesterday come and speak on TV, was saying they are doing too much, they are speaking. It's so easy for you, Mr. Commissioner, to say that, because it's so easy for us to bear the pain of others. We are not in their shoes. We just pray for a happy ending for all of this. It's been too much heartache in this country.
On that note, we'll take another short break here.
Welcome back to the Morning Show right here on the Rising News channel. Michael, we're going to move over to you quickly. Michael Wilson-Joseph from London. Michael, good morning.
Morning. So Wall Street basically riding on confidence in the markets. A very good day yesterday, powered higher. All stock markets did. Gold has a positive day. Only oil suffered. I'll give you more of that slightly later. A delayed, really, reaction to those good jobs figures on Friday from the United States. Once they got the PMIs, US ISM non-manufacturing PMI. Sorry about the technicalities, but what we're talking about, of course, is a look forward as far as business confidence is concerned. That massively outperformed, and non-manufacturing PMIs did too. So Asia had a couple of data releases today. It's increasingly clear that countries who have not got a grip on COVID-19, whether it be by design or by luck, actually are finding that things are going to be very tough for them. In Japan, household spending rose slightly. Singapore's market PMI is still up. Australia's ANZ job advertisements rose by 7.4%. These are very, very small indicators, but they're adding to a very positive picture. So as far as Asia's markets are concerned, let me give you a quick roundup. Nikkei down 0.7, Kospi down 0.2, mainland Shanghai down a tiny little bit, Hong Kong's closed for a holiday. But as far as China concerned, here's the big news from them. PMI outperformed hugely. The Caixin Services PMI's private sector for March outperformed as well. A welcome boost to the China story. Manufacturing a little bit down. US futures actually doing quite well overnight. To the US, then, let's talk about Janet Yellen, the new Treasury or newish Treasury Secretary in the United States. very, very different kind of language now from President Trump. It's America is first, but that doesn't mean America's going to be isolated at all. A bold set of principles that differ. No saber rattling against China. However, and this is the important phrase, and we'll come back to it, the United States will be competitive where it should be and collaborative where it can be, but only adversarial where it must be. Those phrases will go down in history, I'm sure. The US, let's talk about the UK now, taking a very, very tough line on Eurostar, the government. This is the rail link between our island and the continent, taking a very tough line on there. 55% owned by the French. Now it's down to the shareholders. UK, again, we're hopeful of foreign holidays coming back soon. Forget about us. Think about Europe, think about tourism and the rest of it. That's going to be one help towards what's going to happen as far as that's concerned. As far as the UK is concerned, a good business surveys, retail sales, house prices and all the rest of it are up a lot, but makes for quite positive reading. But there might be another surge in COVID-19. We don't know about this. The main driver of falling cases is not the vaccine, but it is isolation. And yet we are being allowed out. 10 times higher cases than in July and August during the years. It's a very, very confusing picture. Briefly then, I know we're in a bit of a rush. Just let me give you commodities. First of all, oil. Now, given there's going to be an expansion of production cuts, production in May, odd time to do it really, because actually demand will probably be down. It certainly will be in Europe, nothing there. And gold basically trading sideways. That's your brief global trade view this morning. Good morning.
Okay. Amazing stuff, Michael. But real quickly, I want to ask, why is Janet Yellen thinking that the world should go the way of America with increasing corporate taxes for companies? Because she's now trying to justify this, and she's trying to say, okay, all that OECD countries set a target, for corporate taxes and the likes and all of that. Is that not going to stifle innovation and business? And secondly, why is this talk about, yes, America's stimulus package, but Christina Georgieva of the IMF is saying that once the stimulus package comes in and there's an increase in interest rates, then definitely it's going to spell trouble for developing countries like us.
Okay, IMF, again, they take a very global view. I'm not really impressed with what the IMF does. If you're really asking me, I think it looks at the world through a rearward-facing mirror. They don't have real jobs. But yes, of course, if interest rates do have to rise, then it'll mean problems for the rest of the world. But as I've said before, I think central banks are very much under the cosh at the moment. And I don't think they will increase interest rates until they absolutely have to. And also do remember, please, that central banks, including the Fed, including the Bank of England, I'm not saying they're experts at what they do. That's down to them. That's what their job is. But they have said that they will look through spikes of inflation. We are going to see in the official figures, obviously, spikes of inflation because things have been so low. So when they start to rise up again, then it will look as if there's been an increase in inflation. Reality, doubt it very much indeed. Smarter minds than me will be discussing that over the next few months. As far as corporation tax in the United States is concerned, yeah, I think Yellen was saying that it's basically the spending is roughly neutral in terms of taxes created. What they will do, and this I think will yield a lot more money rather than just a marginal increase in corporation taxes, that they will stop companies establishing bases abroad so that they can be taxed abroad. They will be taxed in the US. I'm trusting in politicians here. I shouldn't really, but I am. And I'm saying that actually I feel as though what's being said is relatively neutral. I don't think it will have a deleterious effect on the US economy. I think we'll find it is like most economies full of entrepreneurs, just like Nigeria's. It's very, very agile when it needs to be. That's what we're looking for. We're looking for young, fresh minds to be agile and entrepreneurial. That will happen in the United States. I'm certain it'll happen in Nigeria too.
Well, the G20 makes this work. What should we be expecting in terms of the debt freeze, the debt suspension initiative, and on a long-term basis, the debt relief that many developing countries are asking for? Now, Janet Yellen may have been talking about corporate tax, but is there any guarantee that that will go through Congress, particularly as you can see that the U.S. Chamber of Commerce is against it. And also there are top Democrats. Senator Manchin, for example, has been on television all over the place saying that it cannot work. And so given the configuration in Congress, that aspect of that American infrastructure plan could be in trouble. Don't you think so?
No, I don't think it will be, and I'll tell you why. Because also in the small print, what we've learnt overnight is that actually it will be allowed to go through piecemeal, so that it won't be filibustered, and therefore it stands a better chance of going through. I think it'll certainly be adapted as these things are, because that's what you have two houses for, and that's what democracy is about. But at the same time, I think the general thrust of it will go through. It may be nibbled at through the edges in the same way that the original stimulus plan was, but I think it will go through. I think we're looking at, I hope we're looking at, an America that's going to emerge fitter and stronger as a result of all this.
Heads have rolled at Credit Suisse regarding that Bill Hwang debacle, and there are also links to that story and the updates you've been bringing us about Liberty Steel. What's your comments on the whole situation?
Well, I don't have very strong lawyers, is my comment on it, but what I would say is that I think that what's going to happen about that is clearly we're a long, long way away from finding out what went on. It's one of those things that is a casualty of the markets actually being relatively free and relatively unregulated. I think the regulators themselves, once again, here we have the sound of stable doors being bolted a very long time after the horses have gone and all that kind of stuff. But I think we will have less confidence in our regulators than we did before. It's a regulatory problem, and I think I'll wait until, if I may, we see a little bit more of the detail before I pass any comment on it, because I value my freedom.
I mean, the big question is, who even regulates the regulators themselves? But thank you so much for your time. Michael, really appreciate you for your time.